Yeah, there are a couple of reasons it's important for ICT policymakers and climate change policymakers to connect. Right now, we've observed they're pretty disconnected. One reason is that the ICT is becoming a major generator of carbon. It currently accounts for about 2% of global carbon emissions. That's projected to double or triple within the next 10 years. That's not well known in the climate change community, and we think it needs to be recognized. The more important reason, though, is that ICTs can be used in a lot of other sectors to significantly reduce carbon emissions. Studies have estimated that the smart use of ICTs in transportation, energy, building management, industrial processes could result in a 15% reduction in carbon emissions by 2020. That's quite significant. That's 8 gigatons. And this, again, has not been widely recognized in the climate change community. When people think of green technology, they don't necessarily think of ICT. And we think it's important that they begin to think of ICT as an important green technology. Yes, what we're doing in the scenarios-based research is to ask people to think about different ways in which the future may evolve depending on how the internet evolves. We've worked with a number of different scenarios, one in which things continue more or less on the track they're on now, one in which there could be a complete breakdown as a result of global events, the economic breakdown, catastrophic climate change, one in which the world might break up into competing regional blocks or different countries, the Fortress World scenario, and another one in which real change might emerge from the base, from the bottom up, supported by the internet. And we ask people to consider these different future possibilities and think about what decisions need to be made now to get the best results in the long term. And we found that people respond to this very well. Scenario techniques have long been used in the sustainable development community. They're completely new to ICT policymakers. ICT policymakers have tended to think that ICTs are forces for good, that they're the solution to all the world's problems. So they find it, I think, very salutary to be asked to think, well, what if things don't work out for all the best? And what do we need to do today to make sure that we get the best result tomorrow? Yeah, the green movement in the ICT sector got underway only within the last 5 years, and I think it's driven by a number of things. I think the ICT sector, the big global companies, computers, telecommunications, see the writing on the wall. They realize that they are important generators of greenhouse gases and that they're going to need to clean up their act. They're sort of anticipating what will be required of them, say, as a result of the conference in Copenhagen this December. So the foundation of the movement is a strong desire to clean up the act of the ICT sector itself by making its products much more energy efficient. Beyond that, though, they see very, very significant business opportunities in developing products and services that will enable reductions in greenhouse gas emissions throughout the economy and society in areas like transportation, through smart transportation systems, energy, through smart grids, in smart building management, and in the dematerialization of products and services. This is sort of a catchphrase they use to describe doing things online or doing things virtually that used to be done through physical products, physical services. And momentum is building quite strongly. There's a movement underway to develop global standards for energy efficiency in the ICT sector, and the sector is beginning to engage with policymakers in other sectors. In order to get real change, I think there are going to be a lot of things that have to happen at different levels. I think, obviously, I believe that there needs to be global agreements on greenhouse gas reductions. Hard targets have to be set, and that has to be translated, I believe, into strong action at the national level. Carbon pricing, if you like, one way or another. I think without the economic incentive to change, it's very, very difficult to do that. So there's a lot that can be done top-down, beginning at the global level, being translated regionally and nationally. But at the same time, I think there has to be a very, very strong bottom-up movement that begins with individuals, families, communities, because we'll only be able to adapt to climate change and take the action necessary to mitigate it if millions or billions of right decisions are made by individuals and small groups in their daily lives as they go about their business, making the right choices. And we think the internet and other ICTs can be a very powerful tool in supporting that, in providing access to the information, in creating the kinds of social networks we're seeing growing up around Facebook and Twitter, the sort of reinforcement that's needed to get a real global movement among people to change the way they live, the way they act, in order to achieve sustainable development.